him. He's a child abuse. Y'all want to know the truth? He done abused him when he there.
I left with so much blood, bro. It's blood on my son.
Man, my house, hey, my motherfucking house stay for the chin, man. Hey, I'm just out of that fake. I'm out of that stage of posting it, you bitch.
She pulled up the pictures on screen, zoomed in, and said straight up, "That's not a dog bite, that's a burn, mutt." That was Arcola, mother of YoungBoy's son, Kale, on Instagram Live in March 2026. And that specific claim, delivered with photos on camera, is what sent the whole internet into a frenzy. Because this wasn't the usual baby mama drama. This was a mother holding up what she said was evidence of an injury her child sustained while in YoungBoy and his wife Justine Michelle's care, and saying the explanation she got didn't add up. Here's the full breakdown of everything that came out. Arcola went live and had time for everybody. She came at Justine first, telling her she wasn't moving like a real wife, that she was being sneaky and playing her cards right just to secure the bag. Then she pivoted to the kids, and that's where the tone shifted from messy to serious. She said her son came back from a visit with what they claimed was a dog bite on his hand. She said when she texted Justine asking what happened to his finger, the response came back too fast, like it was rehearsed. Her exact point: if a dog really did that, why wasn't there a doctor's visit? Why no tetanus shot? She said she examined the pictures herself, and what she saw wasn't a bite wound. She said she could see browning at the top of the injury, and that it looked like a burn. Then she addressed the deadbeat claim directly. She said he picks up the kid, takes a picture, puts him in a video, and then he's gone. She said she'd been raising Kale solo with no financial backup and no consistent presence. She also said Justine's kids were dealing with favoritism issues on top of all of it. Then Arcola dropped what she said he definitely wouldn't want the public knowing. She said he told her privately, word for word, "I'm actually happy you kept my little boy." She said he was out here telling the world he never wanted the baby, while having said the complete opposite to her face. After the live, YoungBoy got on X and responded, and what he said shocked people more than anything Arcola said. He told her, in reference to their son, to forget the kid, said he'd pay support, and that was it. The backlash was immediate and hard. Nobody could believe he typed that about his own child. Within days, he had wiped his socials completely. But Arcola wasn't the only one talking. Another situation came to light that was even harder to hear. A different baby mama described going to pick up her son and what happened when she arrived. She said somebody put hands on her during the custody exchange while her child was standing right there watching. She said YoungBoy was present and let it happen. When it was over, she said the only thing he told her was that she had disrespected him. She said she left bleeding. She said the blood got on her son. The custody situation leading up to that moment had already been a headache. She said he kept moving the goalposts. First it was wait 2 more weeks. Then the rules changed, then they changed again. She tried to offer a month-on, month-off arrangement. He said no. Every reasonable solution she proposed, he had a reason to reject. Then, when she finally pushed through all of it and physically showed up for the pickup, that's when the confrontation happened. She also said he told her to pay $1,300 for a flight to come retrieve her own child. She said that was basically her entire budget. The whole picture she painted was one of financial manipulation stacked on top of physical confrontation. She said the boy was never going back to him or anyone in his family. Done. Then there was Nia's mother, and she came with a completely different kind of weight. She got on live and called YoungBoy a child abuser. Not implied it, not suggested it, called him that directly to the camera. She said her grandson was terrified of his own father. She said the first time she saw the two of them in the same room together in court, the child looked frozen. Not shy, not nervous. Shook in front of the one person who was supposed to make him feel safe. She said she made up her mind right there in that courtroom. She told her daughter the boy wasn't going back. Period. Then she brought up something she said people had conveniently let slide. She said someone called them at midnight, telling them to come get the child because there had been a shootout with the baby in the house. She said that couldn't just be forgotten in the middle of arguments about custody and co-parenting. She also said he cut off communication with a 3-year-old over a watch. Not a custody dispute, not a legal situation. A piece of jewelry was the reason a grown man stopped calling his toddler. She said the child asked for his father every single day. Every day, her daughter had to tell him daddy was working. That's all she could say. And when people pushed back with the phone works both ways argument, she shut it down clean. She said you can't call somebody who has you blocked. Naya herself was more measured when she addressed things. She said the posts people were reading as shade weren't aimed at anybody. She was just expressing how she was feeling. She said people needed to stop interrogating her about why her son wasn't with his father more. She said if the child was good with his mama, then let him be with his mama. She was clear about what YoungBoy's involvement actually looked like. She said he'd pay some child support. That was it. No calls, no visits, no checking in, just a check. And in her view, more about image management than actual care. She said her son had a whole support system around him. People who showed up every day, who worked out with him, who invested real time. She said the boy wasn't missing out on anything. Star Jane had her own moment on live, but hers was directed more at the internet than at YoungBoy directly. She was tired of random people narrating her life like they had inside information. She shut down rumors about her finances and said nobody commenting on her situation was paying a single one of her bills. She said she graduated, she was more than educated, and people needed to mind their business. After all of it, YoungBoy finally addressed the situation himself. First on X with the Forget the Kid post that backfired immediately, then on Instagram Live where he went on full offense. He said his house was always full of his kids, and he wasn't about to start posting proof-of-life content to satisfy strangers on the internet. He went after specific baby mamas by name, questioned what one of them was doing with child support money, accused another of spending it on other men. He said the legal system was coming after him specifically. He said everybody else got breaks except him. He didn't address the burn allegation. He didn't address the child abuse claim from Nia's grandmother. He didn't speak on what happened during the custody pickup. His response was entirely about repositioning himself as the victim of a corrupt system and dismissing the women speaking out as clout chasers. Then he wiped everything and went dark. What this whole situation laid out across multiple women, multiple children, and multiple specific incidents is a pattern. Different baby mamas, different backgrounds, different situations, but the same recurring themes: physical absence, financial manipulation, children caught in the middle of grown people's decisions, grandmothers and mothers going public because private conversations weren't producing results. None of these women were reading from the same script. They went live at different times, talked about different children, described different situations. And they all ended up pointing toward the same thing. Whether you believe every specific claim or not, the volume and consistency of what came out of March 2026 is the kind of thing that doesn't just disappear because somebody wipes their Instagram. Do you think this situation changes how people see YoungBoy, or does the fan base not care about off-camera behavior? Drop your take in the comments. Subscribe for more breakdowns like this one.